I'm going to be speaking to Kenneth. Kenneth is from Cork, has 3 children and is a 1-income household. He's looking for renovation work into the property he's in at the moment, and also for tax advice and a look at his pension plan through his company. Biggest thing here is obviously the home improvement loan. Have you got any quotations yet? What type of work are you thinking of getting done?
I'm actually thinking about becoming a builder, Paul. I think there's a lot more money than what I'm in at the moment. We're getting quotes of 70,000 to 80,000.
And it's for an attic kind of extension looking at as well, is there an attic conversion?
Our youngest is 6 and I think he's going to outgrow the box room, and I think that was one of our concerns. And then I work from home and Sue is a writer, so the idea would be to have an ensuite and then an office environment
as well. Very good. I get this question quite a lot about people looking for home improvement loans. Do they fund them through their cash flow? Do they fund it from savings? Do they borrow? Do they put it on the mortgage? Or do they go for a home improvement loan? So I'm going to break down the advice in those 3 sections. Great. I'd always recommend trying to put some of your own cash or savings before borrowing, but I'm conscious you don't want to lose all your life savings or kind of use them, and you're right, you need to have a decent size of emergency fund, especially with 3 kids and 1 income coming in. You need a big buffer, you know, should something go wrong. If we go to borrow it, there's 2 things to consider. If you look for a home improvement loan, it's going to be a short term, okay? The interest rates are 7 to 8% approximately. But what happened is over 7 years, you're going to pay the debt down much quicker than if it was on the mortgage over 15 or 20 years. And in the mortgage, I know you're on a really, really good fixed rate. I mean, you're on the ICS 1.9, which is like one of the cheapest loans you can actually get or could get in the Irish marketplace. And because you're fixed for a period of time, you don't want to break that. So the financial spreadsheet here is going to say, go for the home improvement loan because it makes more financial sense. You pay less interest. But with a 1-income family, we don't really have the luxury of that big cash flow going out the door on top of the mortgage. Okay. So it'd be my advice to hold until you come out at a fixed rate with ICS and then judge what the situation is. So maybe if you're going to switch your mortgage, because ICS have become extremely expensive interest rate wise, so I'm pretty confident we're going to have to move that mortgage from ICS when you come off your fixed rate, and then we can look at maybe a top-up loan with it to do the renovation work then. Second thing we're going to tackle then is the pension. So the pension plan you have is phenomenal. The employer contribution, your contributions are ridiculously good. You're going to be really well set up by the time you get to 60, never mind 65 years of age. The only problem I have and look at your file is how you're investing your money. I'd like to see you getting a little bit more aggressive with your investment approach, because you're so young and you've got such a long time to get to retirement age that I think I'd like to see you up a little bit more in the risk registrar, giving you more access to stocks and shares. And they're typically the best kind of asset class to be in over a 20-year period. Next, we're going to discuss the tax. This confuses everybody. And I get a lot of people asking me, is it tax advantageous if we get married? I say, there's never a reason to get married for tax. So I think for a single income household, there's a lot of misinformation out there. People saying, oh, if she goes back to work, if he goes back to work, you're going to get hammered on tax. It's not worth your while. That's wrong. It depends on your overall gross income, but you're probably going to be netting as a net income to yourself about 15 to 1,700 euro on an annual basis by taking your wife's tax credits. So it's not too much. I mean, if your wife went back to work and she got 50 euro a week as a job somewhere, you're going to be better off than having the tax credits. Does that make sense? So it's not that big of a deal.
We do our tax returns maybe once every 3 years, collating all the receipts, and then again, going back to the risk piece, it's the risk of selecting the wrong option
on the tax form. Big thing around this is going to be, I think you need to do it yearly, January every year, put it out in your diary. You're basically leaving your money with the revenue commissioners for an extra 2 or 3 years. And I know you're kind of using that as a savings scheme to build it up and then take it out. I'd prefer to see you take it out and invest it or do something else with that money rather than leaving it sit with the revenue commissioners. So there's loads of different apps on the app stores where you can get a receipt tracker, take a photograph. Just set up a simple Gmail account, kennethmedicalreceipts@gmail.com, and every time you get a receipt, take a photograph, email it to yourself, and in the subject line put in GP 50 euro. That's saved there. You just go back and count up all the subject lines. You don't have to go into every individual email. And that's a really quick way of doing it.
Great idea.
So Kenneth, you might be asking, with 3 young kids, you've got a really good age gap there between 6 right to be up to 11. What are you like with money?
Like any child, they have piggy banks and stuff like that, but we haven't actually explored any savings accounts.
Would you give them money for chores? Would you give them money for pocket money?
Like if they contributed to working in the house, they get rewarded financially for it. I
would say for anybody watching as well that has 3 kids, is trying not to get the kids to save for too long, because obviously a week is a long time in a kid's life, for a month. So if they have a little bit of pocket money or stuff. Communions are coming up soon, that type of stuff, or confirmations. You know, your eldest is 11.
Yeah.
So for the confirmation, kind of like save a little bit, but spend a lot of it, because you know you have to be able to spend your money and enjoy it. You don't want kids leaving thinking that you have to save every single penny either, because that's no existence. A good financial plan's about spending and saving.
Okay.
On the savings account, have you heard of the On Plus Money Made account, which is really cool? It means you'll get the app, have your account, and the kids will get apps, and you can monitor what they're spending. You can send them money from chores. So that might be something as the kids get older you could possibly explore.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. I think myself and Sue would really like that, because again, it gives you that idea, and as I said, On Plus are in your community, so there's something that's tangible in the area.
Yeah. The other thing about the app, I think a lot of people are afraid of technology with kids. And it's a really good thing that you can track the app. I think that's what I like about it the most, that you can track what's going on, how they're spending their money. So there's a lot of really good parental kind of security features in there too. So following my conversation from Ken, he has a few things to do for me. Number one, start saving €250 on a monthly basis. Number two, I want him to look at doing his tax returns on an annual basis and looking at the Deloitte tax calculator to work out. The next thing I want him to do is to look at his company pension plan and how that's invested. I think if he takes a little bit more risk with his funds, he's going to have potentially way more in his pension plan when he gets to retirement age. Finally, what I'd love Kenneth and his wife to be doing is talking a little bit more about money around the children, as they have got 3 children and money's habits start at home.